Welcome and thanks for listening to another show of The Health Zone. I'm Mícheál Ó Mathúna. Check out and like our Facebook page on www.facebook.com/The Health Zone Show, or follow us on Twitter on the letter D Health Zone, or log on to our website on www.thehealthzoneshow.com. If you subscribe to our mailing list on there, you will get the Health Zone Show delivered to your inbox every week, and also you'll get a copy of our free ebook called How to Transform Your Health in 2016. Also, if you have any feedback on the show, or if you would like to get in touch with us, our email is tunein@thehealthzoneshow.com.
At the moment, Bruce, one of the biggest problems in schools in Ireland is that they're teaching the Irish language using the incorrect alphabet, with the native alphabet of Ireland being Om, the language of the trees and natural cycles of the cosmos. Bruce, how important do you think it is in the conscious world for us to restore the teachings of the native Irish alphabet in schools in Ireland?
This is a very critical point that I've been working on, especially here in, when I'm in the States, in North America. I work with Native Americans and what are called First Nation people. Those are Canadian Indians up there. And here's the point, very simple. The people from the ancient days knew how to live on this planet. They lived in a world of harmony, not like the world we live in today with business and fear and crisis and all that. They understood how to live in the world, the ancient people. They could read the signs of the earth and understand what was going on. Today, we have lost that in the modern world. And as a result, we're facing extinction because we're destroying the environment and the people at the same time, because we lost that initial awareness the original people had. The original Irish were part of what are called the indigenous people of this world. They had a different language, but they also had a different way of speaking to the earth. They could read the signs of what was going on and live in harmony because they knew what the weather was going to be and what was going to grow and what wasn't going to grow. And I say, how'd they know that? Because the more ancient people lived in this harmony. They didn't have television sets and they didn't have the schools. They lived in nature and understood nature. For me, then, it's important to realize that in today's world, as we're facing a destruction of the civilization, mainly because we're undermining the ecosystem, is that we must return back to the understanding of the indigenous people, because those are the original people that still know how to talk to the planet, how to read the signs. And this is true whether these are the people in Ireland or whether they're people in North America or whether they're people in Australia. The original people were the ones that had an awareness of how to live in harmony. And therefore, as we keep programming out the indigenous people's opinions and voices and their culture, we are losing day by day the secrets of how to live on this planet. So I would say, in support of what you're saying, is to keep the culture alive. It doesn't mean everybody has to live in that culture, but that knowledge has to be an important part of the world in which we live in today. The failure of understanding that knowledge is the failure that's causing the destruction of the civilization and the environment. So for me, everything that says go back and relearn and learn among those original people that still know. That's why when I get a chance, I work with Native Americans in the woods, because their language and their understanding of the planet holds the secret for our future success. And I would say exactly the same thing for the Irish community, because the animists, that's what we call them, those are the people that lived on this land before the church really ran the show. They were the ones that spoke to the earth, and they're the ones that have an understanding. If you eliminate this understanding by modernizing it and saying we don't need to do this anymore, then you are cutting some of the most important roots that can keep us on this planet in health and harmony. So therefore, like I'm here in New Zealand right now, and the original people are called the Maoris. The Maoris are are very fierce warriors. In fact, they were so furious, this is the only country that the British Empire landed in, but was not able to defeat the original people. They actually had to sign a treaty with the Aborigines here. Why? Because the Aborigines were more fierce battlers than the British were. And guess what? The language is still here. The language of the Maori is taught in school. The language of the Maori is part of the entire culture. The Maori spirituality is infused, even though it's a British, former British, country. It's still Maori infused. When you lose this in Ireland, it would be just like what happened in Australia and in the United States. The Aboriginal people there were broken up from their communities. The schools, they were not allowed to study what their families studied. They sent them to church schools, and they lost so much of their world. And how did these people turn out today? Well, they're at the bottom of the pecking order because their whole culture was turned upside down and lost, and they're just, they lost their understanding of life. And that's why we must come back, and that's why I agree with you. You want to keep this world alive, then you better keep the cultures that were here when this world was working and keep them back, because they're the ones that still hold the information that we need to bring this world back to peace and harmony.
Bruce, what are your own thoughts on regard to Ireland's significance in the development of the conscious world?